Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to be showing you 10 Wonderkids you can get for under £1 million at the start of FM24. Hope you're doing well. If you're new around the channel, of course, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and giving the video a thumbs up. As we dive in to our first player, it's Andreas Romero. So player number one is going to be Andreas Romero. He's currently on loan from Mongalos in Venezuela over in Slovakia. He can play in those midfield roles, mainly as Mazzola, deep line playmaker, and advanced playmaker, but you can see here on the tactic board, he actually played quite a few positions in the more advanced areas and even as a right back. Looking at his attributes straight away, some really good physicals in there, some 12s and 11s straight away. I can see straight away on that one. Anticipation of 13, decision making of 13, joined by that work rate and vision both at 12 and 13, with a technique of 13, passing a 12, and even some 12s in first touch and dribbling. And with the in-game editor turned on, we can see on screen right now his current ability is 111, but he has a potential ability as high as 159. And at being valued between £80,000 and £800,000, he comes at under £1 million. But his contract does end in 2025, so you might have a bit of time to wait if you try and poach him as a free agent. Next up is Lucas Bergal. He is contracted to Djurgårdens IF over in Sweden. He joined them just last summer for 550k, so you might not have to sign him in your first season, but maybe a potential loan move if he's not getting first team football, currently sitting in the under-19s. He is valued between 140k and 1.4 million, but I do believe with the right negotiations, you can get him for under £1 million. He again is a very more central player, can play in those advanced roles in the advanced playmaker and Mazzola role in midfield, even as an AM and even as a CDM if needed. We'll probably avoid him in the CDM role because his tackling is only 7, marking of only 5, but in the advanced areas, a good dribbling there of 12, first touch of 13, a technique of 14. Alongside with that vision and teamwork both at 12 there, determination of 18, which is also great to see, and a couple of 11s and 12s across the board with flair, decisions, concentration and composure. He's a quick boy as well, with acceleration of 16 up there, but a pace of only 12 and a few 13s and 11s there across the board. The 6'1" cam can play in that CM role as well. He looks very, very good indeed this year in FM24. And one final thing on Lucas, where his current ability is only 99 out of 200, his potential ability is as high as 160. Next up is Oscar Pera. He plays over at Atletico Nacional, and he looks really, really good straight away. Looking at some of his attributes, we're going to those straight away, because I'm looking at straight away. The acceleration of 12, agility of 12, balance of 13, with pace and stamina both are there at 12. For 17 years of age as well, some really good mentals, so a lot of 12s in there straight away for the bravery, composure, determination, alongside that work rate of 11 and vision of 11. A technique of 12 with the first touch of 12, dribbling of 12 with some crossing and finishing, heading and passing all at 11. He's just 17 years of age and valued between £75,000 and £750,000 right now. At age 17, that's not a bad bargain to pick up early doors. He can play on the left-hand side and the right-hand side, but I'm thinking for you guys, probably best put on that left-hand side more as an inside forward, inverted winger, being right-footed, cutting inside, getting into those advanced areas and hopefully contributing some goals along the way. Where his current ability does lie at 97 right now, his potential ability can go as high as 141, which isn't bad for such a cheap player and early doors. Our next player comes from a more established side, this time at Benfica at the under-19s right now. This is Jawa Viana. He's a 16-year-old centre-back currently valued between 110k and 1.1 million, but again, with the right negotiations, you can probably get him for under £1 million. We'll dive in and see where he can play first. He is mainly a central defender, can be a no-nonsense centre-back or an actual central defender. And again, he is right-footed to the right side of that back preparing, but he does have no side preference. You probably could play him on the left-hand side if you really need him to. Physically, he's not bad as well. Acceleration of 12, pace of 12 as well, so he's got a bit of speed to catch up with those fast strikers. With a jumping reach of 13 at 6 foot, he's a bit smaller than what I'd normally go for, but he does look very, very good in terms of those mental attributes. Straight away, I'm seeing the bravery of 13, composure, concentration, both at 11, with work rate and teamwork up there at 12. And for 16 years of age, of course, this isn't the finished product he's going to really develop in this save. As you mentioned about his development, he's only currently rated at 84 out of 200, but his potential ability goes as high as 146. Next up is Juan Perez. He's currently playing at America over in Ecuador right now, and he's valued between £95,000 and £950,000. He started his career over in Colombia playing for Fair Play before joining America, going out on loan last season in Ecuador, but now he's back at his home team as America. He's a left-footed right winger, so again, an inside forward, inverted winger type player on this right hand side, cutting in and supporting the strikers. But 18 years of age, I will be working on that finishing straight away if you want him playing in that sort of role. With only having a finishing of 6 and a composure of 7, he ain't gonna be great in front of goal just yet. But with the high dribbling of 14, the crossing of 11, free kick taking of first touch of 11, and technique of 12, there's definitely a player in there somewhere. He's only 5'7", but with a flair of 16, determination of 14, decision making of 13, with the acceleration and pace and stamina all at 13 and 15 already, there's definitely a bit of a creative player in this player if we can get the best out of him. He has a current ability of 103, but he can get as high as 139 in the potential ability range. This next one might be a little bit harder to take away from Lazio. Is Fernandez. He's currently valued between 250,000 and 2.6 million, so a bit on the higher range this time round. But again, for the right deal, I reckon you can probably land him for £1 million. With his contract running out in 2025, there's not long to wait as well, so it's worth keeping an eye on this guy. He left Sporting on a free transfer at the end of the 22 season, joining Lazio on that free transfer, but he's yet to make a professional debut for Lazio since joining them. And now sitting in the under-18s, you can see straight away, he can play as a left winger, a right winger, even potentially as a striker as well. But for me, probably best playing on this left-hand side, playing again as an inside forward, being right-footed only, and only 5'5" as well. Probably a bit too short to be a striker. So let's dive in now into those attributes, of course. Physically, very good physically, acceleration of 13, agility of 14, a pace of 11, and balance of 11. But you can see straight away, I mentioned about him cutting inside onto the right foot, because on his left foot, he is only right-footed only, and he avoids using his weaker foot at all times. He has a flair of 14 with decision-making and concentration of both 11 and 12, a vision of 12 as well, but again, mentally, probably just need a little bit of work, but he's only 17 years of age. That will develop. But technically, he looks very, very good already. With a dribbling of 14, a first touch of 13, crossing and corners of both 12 and 11, joined by the passing of 12 and a technique of 14. Matilda Poppi comes up next for us. Someone actually using our stream save this year with Star Bucharest. We had him on loan for a season, and he looks very, very good so far in the start of FM24. He's valued between 180,000 and 1.8 million, but from my experience, you can get him for less than £1 million. And at 17 years of age, I would put him as a striker straight away. He's 6'4", and physically he looks really, really good as well. Acceleration, agility, balance, and pace, all at 12. We've mentioned he's 6'4", the jumping reach of 11, not great, but being such a tall boy already, he can probably win some headers for you in the box. With an anticipation of 11, composure of 12, decision making of 11, off the ball of 12, and work rate of 11, he could be the advanced forward for you for a good couple of seasons. Technically as well, you can see an 11 there for dribbling of first touch, a finishing of 12, a passing of 10, which isn't great, but again, you can work along that. But with the heading, penalty taking, technique, all at 11, you got an advanced forward here that could be an absolute dream for you after a little bit of development. This next player, we're heading over to Sweden. He is 15-year-old, 6'5" striker, Kusia. He plays at IAK, and he looks absolutely quality for a big target man type striker. But not even just that, he does have an acceleration already of 11, a pace of 13, stamina of 12, strength of 13, but with a jumping reach of 17 straight away, you want to get some balls in the box for this guy. Mentally as well, there's good off the ball there, 12, determination of 14, bravery of 13, and a couple of 9s and 10s in there, but again, he's only just 15 years of age. He is really going to develop throughout your save. Technically as well, finishing of first touch, both at 11, a heading of 12. Again, the rest of his game is still quite early in development, but 15 years of age, you got some play on your hands already. He's valued between 210,000 and 2.1 million, but again, I do feel like for the right offer, for around £1 million, you can get this guy into your team early doors. Mihailo Satovic comes in now at number 9 on the list, and where his current ability starts at 89, his potential ability can go as high as 160. You can see straight away, he's only getting paid £55 a week right now, but his value is between 140,000 and 1.4 million. And again, someone I used on stream this year with Star Bucharest. We had him on loan for a season, and he looked absolutely insane. He can play as a striker, he can play as a winger, but for me, he's best as a striker. And you can see why from those attributes on screen right now. Physically, he has an acceleration of 11, agility of 12, stamina and pace at both 11. He's a right-footed 5'9" striker, so someone who can get the ball at his feet and go at defences. Mentally as well, got anticipation of 11, bravery of 12, composure and concentration both at 11, with a high determination joined by a flair off the ball and work rate all at 11. For 16 years of age, there's a lot of development to be made in this kid. Technically straight away, there's not a lot to look at really, apart from his free kick taking and long shots of 11, which are pretty decent on the side of him. With a finishing of 12, but there's a lot of work to be done on his first touch and dribbling only at 9s and 10s. But again, 16 years of age, getting playing some first team minutes on loan for the first few seasons, this could be your striker for the long term of your saves. And it wouldn't be a Wonderkid list without a Brazilian in there. And this time we're heading over to Fluminense to the under 20s to look at this left back called Escadia. He's a 17-year-old left back currently valued between 150k and 1.5 million. He might not have a higher potential ability as the other players, but 136 is not too bad for a smaller team at the start of your saves, and definitely can make some money out of this guy. Let's go into his attributes now. Physically, an acceleration of 13, agility of 14, and pace of 12. He is 5'11", but he's left-footed only, so you'd be careful of that. With anticipation of 11, a flair of 14, determination of 12, off the ball of 12, and some decent attributes across the board here for the 17-year-old. but technically I'd really like that first touch of 11 and dribbling a 13 for a fullback as well. You can get up and down that line all day long and with a technique of 12. So there we go. That is my 10 wonder kids you can get for under £1 million in FM24. Of course, some of these players might not be available in your database if you've got a save going already, so you're best off starting a brand new save when I try and find some of these kids sometimes out. Of course, we have a video on that which you'll see linked down below in the corner right now. So check that video out next and let us know in the comment section how you get on with these wonder kids. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you again very, very soon.